that my 5th grade principal had a social media account was the most shocking event of my intermediate school years. We found out about Mr. Longacre's Facebook account after he brought the whole 5th grade class together at the beginning of the school year for a serious talk. He told us stories of cyberbullying and said that it is actually illegal for 10-year-olds to have social media. This fact stunned all of us because we all logged in daily to check out our friends' statuses and pictures, and now we were breaking the law? I raced home from school to find his Facebook profile, and what I found horrified me. So many teachers also had Facebook accounts. Remembering this dramatic and funny situation made me wonder what social media is and why we are so obsessed with it. So how does social media impact us? We will first take out our phones to examine the most commonly used social media networks. Then we will log into the negative implications of social media, and finally scroll through why we still use them. So what is social media? Let's take a social media crash course, which would have been useful back in 5th grade. We should probably start our lesson by looking at a few popular social media networks: Facebook, TikTok, and Snapchat. When Facebook first began, it was really popular for college students, who now make up the largest demographic of users, 30 to 49-year-olds, according to Statista. When I read this, I wondered, why do old people have Facebook? Probably because it is both an app and a website, easy access, where people can share posts and keep their friends up to date about their life. Back in 5th grade, I didn't have a Facebook account, but my older sister did. According to gcfglobal.org, Facebook is the largest networking site worldwide. Facebook allows users to send messages and post current events about their life. Yep, definitely for old people. Mark Zuckerberg made Facebook, and he must have been a genius because the app has over 2 billion users. Zuckerberg's goal in making Facebook was a way to connect people and share their status and exciting events, according to TheVerge.com. But enough about Facebook. Have you heard about TikTok? It's pretty new to the social media game, coming out in September of 2016, and it is a popular with diverse group of users. After Musical.ly, TikTok, the beta version of Musical.ly, grew extremely fast and is now one of the most commonly downloaded apps according to Statista. TikTok is a video sharing app that allows people to share whatever they want for about 15 to 60 seconds. There are about 50 million active users according to influencermarketinghub.com. Many famous users, such as Jimmy Fallon, also increased its popularity. The video content is so mixed and diverse. Where else can you find videos of people making their own secret family recipes, dance videos, and videos that are hilarious? TikTok has created so many celebrities, such as Charli D'Amelio, who has 96 million followers, just because people like what they see in a video. Then there's Snapchat. Snapchat is a completely different type of social media. With Snapchat, a person sends snaps or a text message that is top secret because it will disappear after 10 seconds to people that you add. Also, many people have streaks. A streak is basically where you and a friend go a certain amount of days snapping back and forth. I have Snapchat, and not to brag, but my sister and I have a streak that is 1,002 days long. Many people post on their story. A story is where you can post a video or picture, and everyone who follows you can see it. The best way to explain a story is a post that is very similar to a post on Facebook, but a story goes away after 24 hours. You can also call, text, video chat, and send pictures. The average age for Snapchat is 15 to 25 years old, according to Statista. During our lecture from Mr. Longacre, I can remember rolling my eyes and whispering things like, "This is stupid." I didn't believe anything that my principal was talking about. How could he know anything about social media? He was talking about all the negative implications of social media, and the whole speech just went over everyone's head. Nobody believed that all these bad things happen on something that is just so fun. As I grew up, however, I started to notice some of the negativity that he warned us about. For me, I have to admit, social media has had a pretty negative impact. I can honestly say that I'm addicted to social media. Hello, my name is Sarah, and I'm an addict. According to AddictionCenter.com, psychologists estimate that about 5 to 10% of Americans suffer from a true social media addiction. Behavioral addiction is the scariest addiction in regards to social media. According to AddictionCenter.com, this is when a person becomes dependent on and craves something other than a drug, like social media. Studies have shown that occurring likes on a post or picture affects the brain's pleasure center to trigger the same kind of chemical reaction as other drugs, such as cocaine. Social media has severely stunted young users with social skills like empathy and compassion. Harvard University studies have shown that social media sites light up the same part of the brain that also ignites when taking drugs. Unfortunately, depression rates are up 37% since the last decade for teens, according to Time. So why be addicted? I think that I have deleted many of my apps at least 4 times and re-downloaded them 5. Frankly, I'm afraid of missing out. Fear of missing out, or as we know it, FOMO, creates anxiety and fear that others might be gossiping about them on social media. This leads to teens who continuously check their phone, first thing in the morning, while at school. Shh, don't tell my teachers. Hanging with friends, eating, and before going to bed. It is hard not to think about it all day for many of us. Comparison on social media is huge, and not only for other people, but for myself. A study from the University of Pittsburgh says that teens' social media usage is higher than their body image is even worse. There are 2 different types of comparison. According to PsychologyToday.com, a healthy comparison is when a person looks to its peers, mentors, and friends when they want to improve. This takes discipline, however, because there is also unhealthy comparison. An unhealthy comparison is when people make the mistake of comparing ourselves to paragons of others, according to PsychologyToday.com. While I was sitting on the cold floor listening to my principal explain all the negative complications of social media, I began to wonder, why do we use this so much if our principal is telling us that it is negative? I didn't care. I went home and watched YouTube. As I got older and more addicted to social media, this curiosity began to increase. Let's zoom into why we still use social media sites. It has the same look as using drugs. When being addicted to social media, mood modifications, salience, withdrawal symptoms, and even relapse are common with drugs and social media. According to AddictionCenter.com, TikTok, Facebook, and Snapchat produce the same circuit that is produced by recreational drugs to keep consumers using the products. Scientists have compared social media to a syringe of dopamine being directly injected into the brain's reward system. Also, the brain's negativity bias contributes to why we still use these apps. According to PsychologyToday.com, the brain's negativity bias is when your brain is attracted to negative thoughts or news. When I read this, I was totally weirded out because I thought my brain was attracted to positive thoughts. I guess not. Our brains are attracted to negative events because of evolution. Back in the olden days, when people would gather berries and hunt animals, the negative events, such as being killed by a bear while trying to gather berries, was a matter of life and death. This was then carried through generations until it got to us. Our attitudes are more influenced by bad news than good news, according to PsychologyToday.com. For example, if you spend $20 on a present for a friend, you will feel it more than if you get $20 for your birthday. When my principal was telling the whole 5th grade about social media and how it can negatively impact us, he didn't give us hope or direction on how to break this addiction. No worries, that's why I'm here. To break this addiction to social media is self-discipline, something that I am trying to work on as well. Setting alarms and limits on certain apps is extremely helpful. According to weforum.org, social media sites help official agencies and experts on delivering significant news first. I don't know about you, but I love sharing news with my family, especially funny TikToks. If there's something going on in the world, such as a global pandemic, I will share the information with my family or friends. Last thing I want to share is to never take advice from your 5th grade principal. Take it from me.